Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase podcast. Today, we're speaking with Martha Brown. Martha is going through kind of a transition herself right now. She is working on helping moms get from chaos to clarity and helping them just really reshape their thoughts about how business and mom life work. So share your story with us, Martha. Tell us how you got started, why you're shifting from what you were doing, all the stuff.
All the stuff. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. And, I'm always like, oh, it's a short story, but, there's always those ebbs and flows and all of it. Actually, I really got interested in coaching a few years ago. And was doing a little bit part-time here or there while I was still working a full-time job. And then my husband and I started fostering kiddos, and we got placed with our son, who actually today is his 5-year, what we're calling brown anniversary. So it's his five years ago was his adoption with us. And realized that I have worked so many hours for so long, and we've waited for this moment, and I really wanted to be there for any kids that came into our lives. So I quit my full-time job and went into business, full-time while also raising him. And then in the interim, we've also have adopted 2 other kids too. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
Thank
that
you
so much.
Thank you. And, it's just, I was blessed enough to have this moment of clarity for myself of, okay, wait, I've worked my life and worked so hard to be where we are that now's the time to go full force into being able to coaching. I could set my schedule for the most part. There's things that you can't, but just so we could create that life for this family life that we wanted. And when I first started, I actually have been coaching with women who were struggling with their relationship with alcohol. And I've done that for quite a few years, for the last few years. And then more and more in doing that, I have had other business owners come to me, other people come to me about, how do you get started? Can you help me? What about this? How are you doing this as a busy mom of 3 kids and still working, still making money, still coaching and all that? So it kind of happened organically, this shift over with it. But at the same time, I myself am sober, and I have just over 20 years sober myself. But over the last few years, I was struggling with some stuff, and I just felt like I was not really in that place to also then be coaching and working with people on that too. I had to take a step back, and I had to take care of me. And so I did that. And so then with that happening, just this transition into working more with moms, especially with that guilt and time management is a big thing too. It's just happening. So we're running with it.
That's an awesome story. And I
Thank
can
you.
totally relate to the mom guilt. I've been doing this for a really long time, and I've had little kids, and then they got older, and I was homeschooling on top of that. So
Oh
it's like
gosh.
you always have kids in the background. And it's interesting how Zoom has kind of allowed us to figure out how to do business online, but
Yes.
also the sometimes kids come into the picture, and it's kind of heartwarming to me that we're not just trying to shove children in the corner and say,
Yes.
you've got to be quiet, mom's working. They're they can be a part of your life, and they are a
Mhm.
natural extension of what you're doing. And it's really kind of beautiful how that's all coming into being more accepted, you know.
Yes. And I think like with, over the last, 3 years, everything's shifting to more on the online space. There really wasn't a choice. People were home with their kids. Like it just like full time. So it just had to happen. And you'll still see my kids wander into the screen once in a while. Sometimes it's just to give me a big hug or a kiss and wonder off. They just need that touch point. And honestly, I have found that it's easier just to embrace that, give it to them, and then they'll like go back to whatever they were doing versus being like, shh, leave me alone. I'm working because otherwise they just keep coming back. But
Yeah.
I'd love to share a quick story too,
Mhm.
is because my kids have been around so much with me working and doing this and seeing the things I do, I've noticed it's starting to shift over for them too. So like the other day, my daughter was down playing with some of her little like Barbies and LOL dolls and stuff. And she took her tablet and she had it faced towards her and she turned on the camera and she was recording herself doing videos showing people how to do this. She's like, yeah, mom, I'm going to have my own business. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show people how they can like make all these stories up with their dolls. And I'm like, okay. And she's 6, just turned 6.
I
So yeah,
love this so
yeah,
much. It's just modeling future behavior for your children instead of
yes.
going to go to work with mom day or dad day or whatever that was back in the
Yeah.
day. Now it's like you're seeing mom, what she does, and
Mhm.
you're playing the game, because that's
Yes.
all playing is. It's learning
Yep.
skills and practicing, so that at some point maybe you really get good at it, or maybe they discover their thing. Playing is how
Yes.
you discover who you are, and what things light you
Exactly.
up. And it's so exciting. I'm 6 years old, and
Yes.
already playing this game where she's I'm sure you could help her post them on YouTube. I mean,
Yes.
or she maybe even be live on YouTube. But
She's
it's
not yet, but that's what she wants. They actually, her and my son, who's just a year older, both they're like, we need a YouTube channel. So I'm like, okay, we got to find some time to like plan this out. Like we're gonna work this like it's a business. Like if we're gonna really do this, we're like, okay. So it's in the works, but yeah.
but that's the time to start. I know
Yes.
my own daughter. I have a 19-year-old daughter who recently moved out, but she's been doing stuff on YouTube off and on. That was a learning process for her, and she did it. Mostly she would ask for advice, but mostly she's learned all of the things herself,
Yeah.
and it was just part of who she's become. She does other things too. I mean, she's a baker now.
That's nice. That's fun.
She loves it. She bakes at home for fun. So
Gosh, that's amazing. I am not that person.
yeah, yeah. Well, I am, but she had worked in a factory for a year and saved a whole bunch
Mhm.
of money, and then she decided she's not going to live her whole life just to make money working in a factory. And
Mm.
factory life is so depressing. It's like
It's hard.
So when you can model like other alternatives for your kids, it's so empowering.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. And that's not to say that we don't have our struggles too, because we absolutely do. Right. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
those moments that I try to hold on to when I am getting frustrated, getting frustrated with things too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's another thing. Everybody has moments of frustration when you're in business for yourself. And a lot of people, everybody starts out by themselves and they're just
Right.
trying to figure it out. And then when you learn that, hey, maybe I could hire some help and shorten the learning curve by paying a couple dollars, which is what you're offering
Yeah.
to moms. So how does it look when people work with you? What kinds of things do you do for them or teach them to do for themselves?
Yeah. So part of it is like helping them make a plan, right? So we all know where we want to go. We all know what we want, which typically for going into business, yes, we want to help other people, but it is a business. So yes, we want to make money doing it. And I feel like there's this like taboo around saying, I want to make money, like you're bad or something. And it's not. You're working, right? And so there should be like some kind of compensation for it. So it's helping moms, especially with that, figuring out, I'm sorry, let me back up, figuring out that ebb and flow of with the plan of how to work and how to be there for your family. Because most of the time, their why is because they want to spend time with their family. But what typically happens is we set a goal for ourselves and like, once we hit that goal, then I'm going to make sure I take off afternoons to play with the kids. Once I hit this goal, then we'll go on that trip. Instead of actually doing it, then we just keep setting these higher goals for ourselves and we forget what that why is. So helping moms like reconnect with their why and then get that plan in place for them and getting those routines. Like we all hate to hear it. Oh, I'm so sick of routines. But when we have these routines in place, whether they're our morning or evening, daily routine, weekly routine, whatever it is, then it really starts to help us get more focused and get more done in less time. So that way we do have that time to do those things that we want to do, even if it's for ourselves too. Maybe I want to go get a massage. Maybe, I do want to take a couple days off to go play with the kids, especially during the summer when we can swim and be outside more. So that's really helping get focused on that and then helping them learn. I feel like for a lot of business owners too, they don't realize how many tasks we have that are repeatable, right? We're doing the same thing on a day-to-day basis, on a
Yeah, the
week-to-week
more
basis.
systematized you can get, the
Yes. So
easier
helping them
life
with
is for everybody.
exactly. So helping them figure out what that system is that could work for them and introducing them to some tools that can help too. So yeah.
And tracking your data, knowing your numbers. Those kinds
Yes.
of things are super important. And entrepreneurs, when they first start out, tend to gloss over systems, boundaries, using your calendar,
Yes.
letting
Oh
your
my gosh.
calendar shape your day, and
Hmm.
not just, who you got to talk to, but you schedule time in there to do the tasks that need to be done.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to constantly be behind the eight ball, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yes.
If you
And
don't,
in burnout too, like you're going to burn yourself out because you're always trying to be everything to everyone all the time. And it's not possible.
it's not. And you need to be able to hire people to come in and do some of those tasks. And if
Yes.
you're a business, you're going to have some expenses. Get over
Yes.
it. It's like,
It's reality, but it's like anything else. It's like having kids, you have expenses. Like it happens. Like whenever we have these big things in our lives, a business, kids, a car, a home,
mhm.
whatever, there's expenses with all of it. So yeah.
And a lot of times those expenses make it so that you can actually have higher revenues instead
Yes.
of just like wanting to do it all yourself, there's a limit to your time, so there's a limit to your money.
Yes.
And when you're doing, $10 an hour tasks
Mhm.
instead
Yeah.
of, the real income generating tasks that you're
Yep.
good at,
Yep.
it's costing you whatever the difference between what you charge per hour to do the thing you're really good at and the $10 an hour thing
Yes.
that you could be paying someone else to do.
Yes, I love that too, because we do talk a lot. I talk a lot about like working in your zone of genius too, right? Like, where are your strengths? What are you good at? And what are those like higher level tasks that you have to do? So like and I just talked about this the other day with someone, like, write down all of the tasks that you do for work, for home, whatever. And maybe for you, it may not be yet like, getting help in your business. Maybe you're still building a few things there, but maybe it's, you could hire somebody to come clean your house once a week for you. Maybe, and that could take that off your plate. You could hire someone to help pick up the kids from school or something. So it's for,
Grocery
moms who are
delivery.
trying to do both of it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That I use that, and it is my saving grace. It is
It'll save you
the best
maybe
thing
5
ever.
hours a week, just not having to
Absolutely.
go and fetch the groceries.
Yes. And I hear from people, well, you have to pay for it, which I do, like the annual subscription for it, but I'm not buying the extra food at the store when I'm going, which I almost always do when I'm shopping myself.
Those little things that look so good
Yes.
right then, but really they're not on the list.
Yes. So delivery or pickup, where I can just pull up in my car, they bring it out to me. Those are the things that have helped me with my time, especially, is those types of things. So I can keep working, because going to the grocery store with 3 little kids is not fun at all.
I can so relate to that.
So if I need to go to the store without them, I'm taking away from working. I'm doing it during my working time, which is precious time too. So when I have it delivered, then I don't have to worry about any of it. I can put in the order the night before with the kid, around with the kids, and then it can be here the next day. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those amazing things. I don't have to do
Yes.
grocery delivery because my husband's retired. So I've
Nice.
trained him to grocery shop.
I love
He
that.
takes pictures of things now.
Nice.
And he's
Nice.
looking at his phone. And I have friends that work at the local grocery store. So if he's really confused, he's not too afraid to ask my friend.
Hey, that's good that he will ask.
Yeah, he'll ask her. He's known her for years and years.
Oh, good. That's very helpful.
It works for me, but if you're just trying to start out and you've got lots of kids or even just one kid,
Yes.
even if you're not starting out,
I was just going to say,
this is a way to save money.
oh gosh, yes.
You may
And
have
time.
to pay for it, but yeah.
And time. It's worth it. Like, hands down. And I think I've been using our delivery thing. It's been 4 years now, at least 4 years. I've been doing it. I found it when it first came out, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I can, this is nice. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is really nice. So
yeah. And
yeah.
Just the time saving.
Yes.
And honestly, money saving.
It is. It is.
So,
Yeah.
what else do you have? I could talk about how great that is.
I know the grocery stuff and that. I think too, like, one of the biggest things that I think can help, especially with like that time management, getting more focused, is I'm a huge believer in the brain dump. So I do this every week for myself when I'm planning out my week. Every either Sunday night or Monday morning, I take a piece of paper and a pen. I don't do it on my computer. It's all on a piece of paper. I set a timer for like 10 minutes, and I write out everything that's in my head of things I think I need to do. whether it's for home, whether it's big projects that aren't going to get done that week, but if they're here and they're popping up, I need to get it out. For work, for the kids, whatever it is, if it's doctor's appointments that need made, I got to get caught up on laundry, whatever it is, I just take that 10 minutes and I write them all out in a list. And then I get up, I walk away, I usually try to walk around outside for a little bit if it's warm enough, and just take a couple of minutes just to breathe, take a break. Maybe I'll throw on some music and dance around or something. And I come back and I look at that list and I pick my top 2 priorities for the week. It doesn't mean the rest isn't going to get done. It just helps me to prioritize. So I don't look at this list and think, how the heck, bless you, how the heck am I going to get all of this done? And so instead, I know what my top 2 priorities are, and then I can fit in everything else around that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really helpful, knowing what you're going to do, and having systems makes it easier because you can fit it into your system and you can fit it into your calendar, and you can make times that you're going to work on those 2 things, and you're not feeling so overwhelmed when the end of the week comes around. It's like, but I never had time to do those things.
Right. And what I like to do too is if they are a big project, and let's just say it's like I'm gonna launch a new program or something like that. It's not just launching a new program. Oh, this is going to take an hour to do. Not a problem. No, it's like even taking that and breaking it down even further into those little things, like writing an outline. What is it? Picking a date. What platform am I going to do it? What tools do I need? All of those things. So when you write all those out, then you can also, sometimes what I like to do is I write them out on sticky notes, and then I can put them in order of how I think I need things to go, and then how long I think each one is going to take me, so I can plug them into my calendar and not feel like, oh yeah, I'm chunking right on there. Oh, launch a new program. That's not going to happen. So that helps.
And go ahead. I was just to say, doing it that way helps you when you sit down to actually work. You're not having to think about, okay, what are the steps I'm going to do? Because okay, I need to work on these tasks.
Exactly.
And
exactly. That is so true. And the thing to go along with that too is I like to put together alike tasks. So if I know I need to make a bunch of phone calls, to make a doctor's appointment, to call internet company, to call, whatever they are, I put those tasks all together for 30 minutes. So I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm not breaking things up. I know exactly what I need to do. Then once that time goes off, I take a break, I come back, and I start working on something else. So, yeah.
And if you don't get it all done, you move it to a different time slot. You don't try to okay, but I've got to do this other thing now. It's okay.
Right.
You just schedule it for later, but schedule it. Don't try to just keep working on it until and then push the other things out of the way, because then you really do start to get behind and overwhelmed.
Yes. And just the other thing that I always suggest too is, yes, to keep a tight schedule. However, I usually have little pockets of space on my calendar because I don't know what's going to come up, right? I don't know if something's going to come up with the kids. I don't know if something's going to come up in business. I don't know what might happen throughout the day. So if I have that space, and if nothing does, then I know I can, fit something else in there to do. But it helps to give me a little bit of grace too, and not beat myself up so much that I didn't get all this done, because God forbid something come up. But yeah,
and stuff always comes up, and sometimes things don't go the way you plan for them to go, and you have to be able to say, okay, so it's not as I expected. I'm going to learn from this, and we're just going to adjust on the fly. And sometimes you may have, there's an old saying, I love this one. I'm not particularly religious, but want to see God laugh, tell him your plans.
Exactly.
Because there's always something that comes along that's just like, wow,
Yes.
didn't see that one coming. And, a kid gets sick and he's at school and he needs to be picked up. Somebody gets in an accident and, your whole day is screwed up because you're dealing with that. It's just like stuff happens. You're a mom.
Absolutely. And they do. And then I'm not like, it's all about like then not beating yourself up, because it's going back to your why. Why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm doing this so I can't, like for me, I can be there for my kids, especially in those times when needed. Like I can do that. And then sometimes there's things that come up that like, I have an appointment scheduled. I can't, then it's finding people to help, to support in those times too. So, yeah.
So how do people work with you? I know you have an offer that you make to people to just get them started to see what it looks like for you. What is the thing that you're offering? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. So I have a giveaway right now. It is called the Powerhouse Productivity Bundle. And what it includes is it has my 4 top principles for productivity. So to be able to be more focused and to get more done in less time, and still be able to create that money and create that time in your day. But I also included it my top 7 tools to do this, along with like short tutorials for you on how to use those tools. So it's like things in business. Like one of my favorite things is Canva to create your own graphics, or like a project management board, or even using AI a little bit to not just help with your business, but to help to plan stuff at home too. So like those are just a few
AI.
teasers. Yeah, I do too. I know a lot of people are scared of it, but if you use it as a tool in your toolbox to help you, it can be amazing. I have a Facebook group too called Busy Moms and Business Solutions. And I just did a whole thing on AI and showed them how they could do all their meal planning, right, from using AI. I'm like, you can plan your whole thing here. You can ask it what kind of food you want, what kind of food to leave out, if you want to include snacks, whatever it is. And so, yeah, it's pretty amazing for whether you use it for business or for planning a personal project. So, yeah.
It does programming even.
Yes.
It created my image.
Yes, I love that. That's gorgeous.
I'm a big fan. So what's the one thing that you want the audience to take away from our conversation today?
I think the biggest thing is that it's okay that things aren't neat and tidy and perfect. Like being a busy business owner, being a busy parent, being a busy people, just in general, I think so many times, like being that business owner, we think we need to wait for things to be perfect in order to do them. And it's in taking that imperfect action and giving ourselves, like I talked about, giving ourselves grace in that space around us, that it starts to get us out there. And when we're out there and talking to people and coaching people and all of that type of stuff, we're there when people need us. Where if we don't and we wait, then people are missing out on the thing that you can help them with. So,
right. Yeah. And that's really what it all comes down to, is helping people solve problems.
Absolutely.
And when you're not out there doing the thing that you were created to do, someone who needs your light to shine on them so that they can do the thing that they were created to do is not getting that opportunity.
No. Yeah. How
can people get in touch with you?
What's the best way? So you can find me I'm on most of the social media channels. You can find me at marthabrowncoaching.com. And two, if they want to get that productivity bundle, if you just go to successwithmartha.com to get that. And then there's a space on there too, when you go to your thank you page, that you can book a free call with me and we can get you started on that plan too. So yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Martha. This has been great chatting with you, all things business and moms.
Yay. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed being here.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the You World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the You World Order or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.